Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me. Welcome to Empower Fantastic Life. Find your power, live without limits. Today, we're going to talk about something really fascinating and maybe a little too relatable for some of us. It's called the curse of the capable.
You know the feeling, right? You're scrolling through your feed, you see someone, maybe an old classmate, a colleague, and they've just crushed it. The perfect job, the polished image, the whole 9 yards. And you can't help but think, wow, they must have it all figured out. But what if that's not the whole story? What if behind all that success, there's something else going on? That's exactly what we're diving into today, using some really powerful ideas from the book, The Curse of the Capable. And it gets right to a tough truth. For a lot of high achievers, success and happiness, well, they aren't always the same thing.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of it. On the outside, what do we see? We see the status, the achievements, that look of total confidence. But what's going on inside? Well, that's a different story. It's often this feeling of emptiness, constant anxiety, always second-guessing yourself. And underneath it all, there's this quiet fear, the fear of losing everything you've built. And look, this isn't just about having an off day. For so many capable people, this is their everyday reality.
So the big question is, why? Why does this happen? It feels like a paradox, doesn't it? Well, the book suggests it's not random at all. It actually comes down to 4 specific psychological patterns. Let's call them hidden traps that capable people often fall into, sometimes without even knowing it. So let's unpack these traps one by one.
Okay, so trap number 1 is what's called the illusion of the capable. And this is really the big one, the foundation for all the others. It's this mistaken belief that your self-worth is tied directly to your external achievements. You know, what you do versus who you are. Think about it. So many of us learn this as kids, right? Get good grades, win the game, and you get approval. So we build our entire sense of self on this really unstable idea that our value has to be earned through performance.
And that leads to this. It's just a brilliant analogy. Your self-worth literally becomes like a stock price. When you land a big project or get great feedback, your stock is soaring. You feel incredible. But the moment you face some criticism or a project doesn't go as planned, crash. Your stock plummets. Living like that is just exhausting. It's this roller coaster of anxiety where your sense of self is completely at the mercy of outside opinions.
Well, if your self-worth is a volatile stock price, what do? You try to control it. And that brings us to trap number 2, performance addiction. It's this compulsive, almost desperate need to just keep achieving, keep winning. Why? Because every new success is like a little hit of validation. It gives you this temporary relief from that deep-down feeling of not being good enough. But it's just that, temporary. And so you get caught in this relentless cycle of chasing the next win.
And I love this metaphor for it. It's like you're trying to fill a leaky bucket with praise. You can pour in all the promotions, the compliments, the bonuses you want, but there's this hole at the bottom, that core insecurity, and all that validation just leaks right out. So pretty soon the bucket's empty again and you're left needing that next fix of achievement. It's a system that can never, ever make you feel whole.
Okay, so where does that hole in the bucket even come from? What's the source of that deep-seated insecurity? That leads us straight into trap number 3, having a biased view of the self. Essentially, our self-perception is often warped by these, let's call them life stories that we wrote for ourselves when we were kids. Little narratives we created to understand our world, like, I must be perfect to be loved, or if I'm not the best, I'm worthless.
This is such a powerful way to think about it. Imagine trying to navigate your complex adult career using a map you drew when you were, say, 8 years old. The roads are wrong, the landmarks have changed, but you just keep following it out of pure instinct. That's what so many of us are doing. We're letting these old, outdated childhood scripts run our adult lives, pushing us towards a version of success that might not even be what we truly want.
So, what happens when you put all of this together? You've got an identity totally tied to your work, an addiction to constant performance, and you're following a faulty map from childhood. Well, it leads to the final and kind of inevitable trap, the downward spiral. It's burnout, pure and simple. The chronic overwork and stress just lead to a total physical and emotional breakdown. And here's the really scary part. When your performance finally drops, which it will, your entire sense of self just shatters. Because it was built on that performance in the first place.
Just imagine a high-performance race car engine. You can't just keep it at the red line, non-stop, forever. It wasn't built for that. Eventually, it's not a matter of just needing more fuel. The engine itself will blow. It breaks down completely. And that is exactly what happens to our minds and our bodies in this Vortio spiral.
The whole system just crashes.
Okay, I know that all sounds pretty bleak, right? These 4 traps can feel a little overwhelming, but here's the good news, and it's really good news. There is a way out. The curse can be broken. The book lays out a really practical 3-step path to get there, towards a much more authentic way of living.
All right, step 1. You've got to revisit that life script. Go back and look at that old childhood map and really ask yourself, does this still make sense for me? Is it actually true? Step 2 is all about balance, and I mean real balance, not just a spa day once a year. It means treating your self-care, your rest, your health, your relationships as seriously as you treat your work. And third, and this is key, is to shift your focus. Instead of always looking outward for approval, you start looking inward to cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-acceptance.
And let's be super clear about this. The goal here isn't to stop achieving things. It's not about giving up your ambition, not at all. The real goal is to stop needing the achievement to feel like you're worthy. It's the difference between achieving from a place of fear and insecurity versus achieving from a place of wholeness and passion. That shift, it changes everything.
So, as we bring this to a close, I want to leave you with a little something to think about, a question for you to take with you. Just take a second and ask yourself, what childhood story about success might still be running your life today? What's that old script that's been playing in the background? Because just noticing it, well, that's the first and most powerful step you can take to finally rewriting it.
You've been listening to Empower Fantastic Life, Jaeger Empowerment Academy. See you next time. Bye-bye.